Would like to welcome. We have a second session. The first one overstepped the time limit because it was generic and it covers the major um, pillars for entrepreneurship. In this session, we are going to take a more specific angle. You can call it excellence centers, you can call it incubators, accelerators. We will learn more from the distinguished panelists. I would like to first introduce the speakers. I'm not going to introduce Dr. Abla, Mr. Ahmed El-Alfi, the first time we met. His office was outdoors, and he had a cappuccino maker next to him, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And he, what we can call a serial entrepreneur, he has been in this field forever, venture capitalist. And part of this session is going to address the Greek campus. Also, we have another big shot, Jobzella, right? This is what you call it, and Osta. Osta is a Turkish word. We are going to listen to his takes as an entrepreneur or as a business technology expert. We're going to also listen to the analysis by the ECES of the Greek campus. This is the old AUC building. Now it's being used as a beacon or a hosting place for entrepreneurship. For the sake of time, I'm going to suppress my three colleagues, Rosha Saif and ElAbbadi and Nadine Abdel-Raouf, into talking faster. Think you're talking about accelerator, and I'm going to listen to the reactions from the panel, from the from the audience. And we discussed semantics in the first session, but now we're talking about place, because not all of the businesses are about technology. There are regular people who eat and drink, and I hope that we have time to talk about outside of Cairo. I'm not sure whom to start with. Good morning. Our presentation on the Greek campus assessment. We're going to cover 6 points. We're going to cover the international business parks and why we chose the Greek campus as a case study, methodology of the assessment, key results, and can we say that the GC experience influenced the ecosystem, and can we have more than one GC? This table shows different examples from Tunisia, China, and these columns are the ones used for comparison. Not all places include the whole package of elements, but they all provide co-working spaces, but not all of them have incubators. We have the eHub in China. We will visit once again in the end of the presentation. In Egypt, we have a technology park and smart village. We have the AUC Venture Lab. We have the business incubator in Qasr Masr Khib. These are examples of different incubators, and if you wanted to compare it with the Greek campus, that would be hard. The most similar one is the smart village, because The smart village is isolated and big. There are new initiatives, startup house, downtown, speed space in Maidi. Why the Greek campus is a case study? As we said, it is unique. It's been working for 5 years. The tenants, whether resided or who moved out, around 392. It's an excellent location and the old AUC campus. And also, it has taken a very special position after the January 25th January. We had an online questionnaire and we conducted interviews with the Greek campus observers and the past talents. We also had follow-up interviews with the respondents. The methodology addresses a sectoral approach, looking at different companies from different sectors and looking at the different stages of the GC. The questionnaire was conducted between June and August. We have 58 respondents, 55% of the current tenants of the Greek campus. It includes 55 questions grouped into 5 sections. Let's not get into the methodology. Let's go to the outcome. The key results. We're going to focus on the overall sample, but before, we're going to share some quotes. When we interview tenants, the Greek campus is the persona of the startup, of the idea of a startup. People get recycled inside the Greek campus. The overall sample, 64% are technology-based startups, all formal, 40% of which are limited liability, which indicates that the GC encourages them to work in the formal sector. Through the share of female on the though the share of female on the startups in the GC is low, it's still higher than the overall share of women entrepreneurs in Egypt. When asking about how the companies position themselves in the Egyptian market, they said that they are the only players, and this is their own perception in their own words. So it might be an indication that the GC attracts brightest minds, and most of the companies position themselves among the top companies in the Egyptian market. Although this is their own perception, they have the ability to compete fiercely in the local market. 95% of the companies in the GC said that the location was a major player in their success, and 25% said so their sales is skyrocketing after they joined the Greek campus, and indicated a 200% jump. As for the employment growth, it grew threefold since they moved to the Greek campus from 4 to 14. As for the expansion plans, during the next 2 years, they are optimistic. 69% indicated that they plan to expand the business within the coming 2 years, and in terms of employment and turnover. Here we asked about the important aspects of the GC contributing to the company's development. The top 4 elements was the location, downtown, the image and the brand of the GC, networking with other tenants, and being a space to meet a range of needs. And the least impactful ones was the cost of premises and provision of shared resources. As we said that the location played a major element to the highest flow of transportation, making it most accessible. It is time saving for the tenants, and also it helps increase their productivity. Also, another point that has to do with the location, the association with the AUC campus. This benefited the tenants in many ways. It has the spirit and energy of the students, which created a more youth-oriented environment. It is an ideal place for collaboration because it's a natural place for networking and an extension to the tenants' offices where they can hold multiple meetings or their own events. Other important aspects, image and brand of the Greek campus, being affiliated with certain key figures such as Flat Labs or the AUC, made their businesses acknowledged and reputable entities in or out of Egypt. Most of the tenants benefited also. They had been able to go into business deals more. And it also had the edge of offering a co-working space and other utilities, including power. When you look at the sectors, our sample was 64% was technology based, but it was, however, otherwise diversified with education, training, consultancy, advertising, virtual reality, technology. The largest share was the information technology, followed by media and content, and followed by financial businesses. The responses varied between the technology and non-technology sector. If you look, you find 62% of the technology sector was startup, compared to 36 of non-technology, and 30% of the employment were young, compared to 46. And as such, we believe that the unique combination of the technology sectors, fresh graduates, contributed and has a multiplier effect. When you look at the technology and non-technology in the response to the development of companies, you'll find that the non-technology appreciate the location even more. And the brand and image, security and services are all added values. Very good. Closing remarks. We had two definitions for the types of companies based on the number of the years the company has been operating in business. The early stage established more than 3 years. The key results, that the GC seems to be a convenient place for early stage startups because of a certain combination of certain aspects that benefit the companies at their early stage, and most of them grow faster due to sharing experience and clustering. We also ask the tenants to provide some suggestions to ensure the success of models and other governed rates, and we received many. Build on a community model, provide support for legal and marketing services, more networking, try to get benefit from the diversity. Holding workshops for startups where they can share the experience together. And they also suggested offering much lower rent. Sorry. Is that the closing question? Yes. This is a very interesting presentation. I was surprised to find that number one was location based on the survey, given the the networking. I thought that the networking would be number one rather than the location. Also, I'm not a statistician, but there was an interesting slide. Where are the people I'm talking to? Where did they go? An interesting slide that shows the growth in employment sales of the companies. That is true. But what I wanted to single out here, that you said 60% of these companies are startups. So the question that comes to mind that I cannot answer is how can we differentiate between the impact of the Greek campus because the sales and the employment growth would have happened anyway. So I wanted to use the discussion that's going to take place in order to know whether we need to replicate it. This is part of today's purpose and how it impacted the whole landscape of entrepreneurship.